What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my podcast where I am pushing positivity, purpose, and peace to all student athletes because we're not just winning our sport, but in our what? In our mind, body, and soul. This episode is really dear to my heart. It's on social media. I know there needs to be more discussion about the amount of time we spend on social media, period. Might I add that this is not just an athlete issue. Obviously, this is a societal issue to where we rather have deep, tough conversations through the phone versus face to face to another human being. We rather develop relationships and friendships through the internet versus the people that are around us, being present and choosing to make those connections in person. Another thing, social anxiety, very real, very serious for a lot of different people. Being around others, getting that real life feedback and having to navigate awkward conversations and time when you're getting to know someone, it's uncomfortable and we shy away from that. We have fear around it, and so we go on our phones. Because of social media, I've also noticed that there's a strong desire to seem perfect. Like we got it all going on, especially as athletes, right? We're many superstars, many celebrities, and it seems like we form this habit of like, I'm cool. Like, I got people on my line. I got this on this platform, Twitter, Instagram. I got people in my DMs, and it's like, it's cool to seem like you're not struggling or that you don't need help. Even though that prolongs you actually being like healed in real life, it's become normal to just act like nothing's bothering us. And that's so detrimental to our mental health and just to our relationships. Also, we're starting to care more about what people say on social media than our family and friends closest around us. And it's crazy. Like, we will really have fear around what user 927 butterfly says, or someone from Oklahoma, or someone from Florida or California, what they may be viewing of us. And it's like, they don't even know us or our story or what we've been through. But yeah, we got to spend 30 minutes on a caption, right? Or we got to make sure that lighting is really hitting just so we could, feel good about ourselves from getting likes from people who don't check up on us, that don't really care about what we got going on day to day. And obviously we don't want to think this way. When I say it out loud, it sounds crazy, but we do it all the time internally. And those are the things that we're fighting when we post a picture, when we go on Instagram to see what people are saying about us, right? And most importantly, y'all, I just want to be frank, there's an addiction to social media. It's addicting. And if you're watching this dang, I'm low-key addicted to social media, baby, welcome to the party. A lot of people are addicted, and I'm not saying welcome to the party it's a good thing. I'm saying it's becoming a phenomenon. Social media has not been around as long as humans have been around. We're just starting to get data and studies on how it's affecting our social behavior, and it's affecting us in a very real, rapid way. Social media, the amount of time that we're on it, the amount of words that we're seeing, the amount of images that we're seeing, it's affecting our desires. It's affecting our purpose because we are just looking at other people's gifts all day. We're looking at other people living their life all day to where we're not living our life. And then we're falling into paying attention to their gifts, trying to execute their gifts when we have our own that we're not stewarding or figuring out, right? So it's crippling us in our purpose as well. It's robbing us of our peace and our positivity. Haha. But you guys feel what I'm saying? It's real, and we need to be aware of what's going on. We need to be mindful of why we feel the way we feel and why we do the things we do. And before social media, you were a mini celebrity just in your community, right? People knew you. Oh, you hoop. Oh, you play ball. You play volleyball. You golf. Whatever your sport is, that was your kind of the things you're managing. But now with social media, someone from Canada could hit you. Someone anywhere across the world, someone from China can see you, can slide in your DMs, can call you because social media lets people call you, and then they feel like they can get mad because you didn't answer. Like, that's the stuff we're navigating. Like, just no boundary type of interactions is wild. And with that being said, because of this notoriety, you can, if you invest your time in social media as an athlete, you can make bread. Like, you can make money. We know this. The NIL, like, it's very real. It's very possible. And when I say this, I'm not trying to make it seem all negative. This can be a tool. Social media can be a tool for athletes, for anyone to make money, to promote their brand, to promote their message. It can be a beautiful thing, but we need to have real conversations about, okay, but what are the boundaries to where I'm not depleting myself emotionally and mentally? What are the boundaries so I'm not being consumed in this digital world and I'm actually living my life? Because that's the only life that's actually real, like the one that you live in the present current moment. So we need to be able to know how to manage our thoughts and heart posture towards social media, so we are using social media as a tool and it's not using us. One of the last things I want to note on this is I see so many young athletes. Young athletes, young adults, they put all this pressure on themselves because of social media, because, oh my gosh, I'm not trying to get posted, get missing my layup or missing my shot, or I want to have a good highlight reel. I want to have this to be able to post. Who's talking about me? Who's not talking about me? You get caught up in that and you have this pressure to be perfect. But can I let you guys in on a secret? You're never going to be perfect. You can't. It's impossible. Even the best people in the leagues, like the professional leagues, they mess up, they miss shots, they make bad reads. You can't be perfect. It's not possible. And what's happening is that athletes are not getting better because they're not challenging themselves. They rather stay in a safe place. They rather stay comfortable and look cool and look like they have it all together. The reality of the situation is the only way to get better is to challenge yourself. It's to push yourself to those uncomfortable moments and positions. If you don't push yourself, you're going to stay the same and you're going to get left behind. You're not even going to make it D1 or D2 or JUCO. You're not going to make it. You might not even make your high school team, depending on where you're at. You have to challenge yourself. And when you challenge yourself, you may get crossed up. If you challenge yourself and go against the biggest dude, you may fall flat on your back. But that's a part of growing in your sport, and that's a part of life. These are life things I'm giving you guys. You have to be able to put yourself in tough situations and have the proper responses and have the emotional regulation to respond. Life has highs and lows. How are you going to manage challenges? Are you going to run away? Are you going to crumble? Going back to social media, it's literally programming our brain to run away from those uncomfortable, unpleasant moments. We are losing our ability as athletes to handle discomfort and failure. This is not good. Because in athletics, you fail so quickly and you have the ability to succeed so quickly as well in many different areas. But we have to be able to manage this space. So here's what I'm not going to do. Okay, y'all? I'm not going to tell you should only spend 15 to 20 minutes on social media. Or you should make sure that you set a time limit for 15 minutes. And once that 15 minutes up, then you're done. Cut it off. Or put locks and security walls on your phone and website browsers. And I'm not going to do that, because how many of us have literally pressed ignore for 1 minute? Ignore for 15 more minutes, ignore for the whole day, and then you end up pressing ignore for the whole day for 7 days straight. Like, I'm not going to tell you that, because that's symptom oriented. Okay, we got to get to the root of this addiction. We got to get to the root of why we keep going on there. Okay, if you get to the root of why you keep going on there, then that time will subsequently start to decrease. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should not go on social media. If you are feeling any of these things when about to go on social media, just drop your phone, Stop, drop, and roll on out of there, okay? But before I do that, I want to give you guys 10 side effects that studies have shown is a result of social media addiction. Okay, y'all ready? 1, heightened anxiety from fear of missing out. Lowered self-esteem due to constant upward social comparisons. 3, poor concentration and memory due to frequent shifts in focus. 4, social media has negatively impacted academic performance. 5, impaired performance at work. 6, neglect on real-life relationships with friends and family. 7, disrupted sleep and associated cascade of poor mental health effects. 8, techno stress from the perceived need to stay current with social media. 9, lower rates of physical activity. And 10, decreased overall sense of satisfaction in life. I don't know about y'all, but that poor concentration, like sometimes I be talking to people and they just be like, I'm like, can you focus? Probably not, because they gotta check their phones. Like that was a personal insert, my bad. Another one that stuck out to me was neglect on real life relationships with friends and family. I know it's really easy to feel like you have support on social media, but how many of us have also realized like that support feels so different than in-person love and in-person care and affection and time? We have to make sure that we prioritize real people in our lives. Now that I have your attention, I'm going to give you the 3 reasons why you shouldn't go on social media if you feel any of these type of ways. Number 1 is comparison. Okay. And I want to say there is a healthy comparison, especially in sports. Comparison allows you to see where you're at relative to others. As social beings, we do this. It's just instinctual. And that's okay. If you're comparing yourself, you don't always have to judge yourself and be like, why am I looking at them? It's normal and it helps you learn. I know for me, like I glean and take pieces from anybody. Like if I like how somebody cooks a certain recipe, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take that. Or if I like how somebody plays or does a move in basketball, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna add that to my game. There's nothing wrong with that comparison, because that type of comparison is stemming from curiosity. It's like, oh, how'd they do that? Oh, that's tough. Like I wanna learn how to do that. But so often we don't practice healthy comparison enough. We practice the toxic comparison that actually is judgmental towards ourselves, and it makes us feel worse. Especially because of social media, it's so easy to compare yourself to somebody's life and be like, dang, they're having a great time. Look at them. Like they hanging out. Man, I'm over here in my room. I'm bored. Like, or man, they going on vacation. They always traveling. Like, man, they got the Louis bag. They got this. They got money. How they got money? Like, you just start thinking and not knowing, like, in that Gucci bag, it's really nothing. Like, it's just a shopping bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's deceitful. You can't judge yourself so harshly when you have a limited perspective on what is actually going on. You're just seeing a snapshot. Comparison steals joy. It robs your peace, and it's cancerous to contentment, because you're always looking at someone that is above you. Sometimes people compare low to make themselves feel good. Like if you're feeling bad, like, let me go check up on him because I know he's probably doing the same dumb stuff. And I know I used to watch Love and Hip Hop just because I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I'm not like them. Like, we all do it in different facets. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful not to compare down either. And ultimately, y'all, like, we all have seasons. People don't promote or post their rough seasons. Not all the time. So we can't take a snapshot of our season and compare it to somebody's highlight season. Especially because you don't know that whole person's life and the sacrifices they made. They may be lacking in the area that we're fruitful in, that we wouldn't trade for the world. So we just have to be mindful. Like, if I'm feeling weird, if I'm feeling like less than, or like I didn't do well, if I want to go check up on somebody else to see how they're doing to make me feel better or worse, like maybe I shouldn't do that. If I just had a bad game, maybe I shouldn't go on social media and see like my other friends from different schools and how they're doing. Maybe that's not the time because I'm not in the right heart space. Does that make sense? So 1, comparison. Don't do it. If you're feeling like you want to compare yourself, don't go on social media. 2, to seek validation. One of my favorite quotes is, if you rely on people to build you up, you give them the same power to tear you down. I love that one. And I've experienced it a lot of times. As an athlete, you work extremely hard at your sport. You do the training, you do the conditioning. Like, it feels good to work hard and have athletic success and get recognized for it. That's totally normal. That's not bad. But when there's like an addiction to the praise and you get codependent on people's words and like always encouraging you, always reminding you, you are gonna put yourself in a tough situation. Because as an athlete, fans come and go, praise come and go. You're not gonna have a good game every game. You're not gonna always make the right play. The same fans that praise you and gas you up and just wish you the best are the same ones that will talk about you in a heartbeat when you do something wrong or you make that wrong play that costs the game, right? And this varies depending on what level you're at. Like, fans can be serious. I have some homies, like, fans have DM'd them talking about like, you suck, you're terrible, like crazy stuff. And obviously that's wrong. But my point is, if you are to internalize what other people say or don't say about you, your confidence is going to go up and down. You're going to be on an emotional roller coaster, and your self-esteem is reliant on somebody else's opinion. Humans are fickleness. Why would we put our worth and our validation in another human? Right? And also, don't get mad if another human doesn't see your vision or see your potential. It's not for them to see. Right? Like, they're human as well. They have their own limitations. So I just want to encourage you to be mindful. Like, if I'm going on social media every single time I have a good game to see what people are saying, like, what habits am I practicing? Is that sustainable? Or if I'm going on social media when I have a bad game to see like who's talking about me, like, did anybody post me? It's not a good way to live. You're ultimately setting yourself up to be extremely insecure and codependent. Period. In life, not everybody's going to clap for you. And that doesn't make them bad people. They have their own other life going on. And as an athlete, you're entertainment. That's how they see us a lot of time, is just entertainers. Like, oh, this is fun to watch them do this. But as a person, you have to be wise about, am I going to get caught up in this entertainment aspect, or am I going to take care of me? So make sure, if you are feeling like you're going to seek validation, talk to somebody. Like, find a way to stop yourself from that compulsive yearning, because it's going to leave you broken and fragile. The last and final reason you shouldn't go on social media if you're feeling this way is to pass time. I told my sister I was going to do this. She was like heavy on the pastime. And that's because it's so easy to go to social media and use it like a drug when we are uncomfortable. Right? Like, oh, I don't feel like doing my homework. I don't feel like cleaning my room. I'm going to just go on social media. And it'd be like 2 hours later and you're like, dang. Because the thing about it is, you still got the homework and you still got to clean your room. You know what I'm saying? So the problem's still there after you get off. And that's with any drug. That's with any drug, not just social media. That's weed, alcohol, whatever. The problem's always going to be there. So doing those things is just a temporary high for an even bigger problem. But when I reflect on the times I use social media, it was when I was trying to avoid an uncomfortable situation. Maybe I was trying to avoid tough conversation. Maybe I'm trying to avoid the feeling of failure. Maybe I'm trying to avoid the feeling of being alone, loneliness, right? Just like anything, so I won't feel that pain or that discomfort. But may I submit to y'all, like, using social media to pass time or avoid things, it really affects your ability to cope. Because when we have unpleasant experiences, even, might I add, just being bored or meeting someone new and having to be awkward, right? This can be with your teammates, someone you're dating, like that awkward stage of not really knowing someone. Social media has programmed our brain to just want like high rewards with low effort. Do you get what I'm saying? So our brain is like, get to know this person, try to think of something to say. The reward is not that high, like for me to do this effort. But that's life, is what I'm trying to say. That's life, that process of being uncomfortable. And the more we go to social media when we're uncomfortable or we have unpleasant experience, we are making ourselves fragile. We're making ourselves literally not able to emotionally handle tough, awkward, challenging situations in life. Because the root of addictions of all kinds is to escape unpleasant experiences. And if we truly sit down, we're using social media as a drug, literally. And as an athlete, we don't want to be fragile. We want to be able to handle when our coach yells at us. We want to be able to handle when our teammate, we try to help them and they say something to us and still show love and still be able to be like, okay, they're having a moment, I'm going to still do me. We don't want to be like, oh, this person corrected me on my shooting form. Oh, I suck. We don't want to be in that type of space. We want to be resilient. We want to be strong. Okay. And I'm not saying that social media is in total the reason why some people are really sensitive or fragile. It is making it worse, the fragility in human beings. As athletes, many of us can feel like there's not a lot of time to self-reflect, to be mindful. We kind of just do what we got to do to get the job done because there's so much going on that we're managing. So I wanted to do this video to kind of give you guys 3 simple things to be mindful of. Like, am I going on here to compare myself? Am I going on here to pass time? Am I avoiding something? Am I going on here to seek validation? Am I really just wanting love right now? Maybe there's a better, healthier, more sustainable source that can give me that love. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that we could be thinking about so we don't let social media consume us and affect our lives and affect our self-esteem and affect our satisfaction. This journey of being a student athlete, wherever that takes you, it's a beautiful journey and it's going to have ups and downs. And if we can be mindful of what is attacking us, then we know how to combat it, right? Like, if you know they out to get you, how they gonna rob you? Type stuff. Being mindful helps you be better prepared for the battle. So, with that being said, to sum it up one more time, if you are going on social media to compare yourself, seek validation, or pass time, you are just going to set yourself up to be more fragile, to have a harder life and a harder experience as a student athlete and most definitely as a person. I love you guys. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the pod, or even on YouTube, please feel free to comment. Let me know your thoughts. Right? I want to hear what you guys have to say. Am I hitting it right on the mark? Is there any other things that you guys want me to discuss? I would love to do it. I love you guys so much. This pod is for y'all. And let's keep pushing. We're going to get through it. And I'll see you guys on the next pod.